Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome Jon Rahm to the interview room. Jon, welcome to Royal Portrush.
Thank you.
You've had a lot of success in Ireland after winning 2 Irish Opens. You must be hoping to continue that success this week as you bid to lift the claret jug.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, obviously. Yeah, really looking forward to playing. Always excited to be here, always be excited to be, staying pretty much in the same town you won a tournament on. So I'll be hopefully looking forward to keep the streak of good golf in Ireland and Northern Ireland going. I'm excited, definitely, so looking forward to it.
Okay, we'll open the floor to questions. If you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. First question from the front.
Hi, Jon. Padraig Harrington has previously said that he doesn't like playing in the wind and rain, but when he has to, he feels he has an advantage over the rest of the field. As someone who's proved that you can win in similar courses to Portrush and in similar conditions, what are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say I have an advantage, but it's a similar thought. I don't think anybody likes playing in cold, rain, and wind. I mean, nobody truly enjoys it, but, it's on days like that where technique, plans, systems, strategies you got to throw that out the window and survive around. Each shot is the most important shot, and you got to trust your feel more than anything else, because what you usually do when it's raining sideways, it's a little bit hard to trust. So you just gotta get the ball in the hole in any way possible. It doesn't need to look pretty. It's just try to figure it out, and you have to battle it. And Padraig has been one of those who's always been really good at getting a good result out of what he's had in that day. It's what it makes him great. I mean, that second round of Birkdale was unbelievable, right? I mean, it was one of the worst weather conditions you could have imagined. He shot 3-4 under, beating pretty much everybody in his bracket on that day. So he's definitely an expert. He's done that a lot more than I have. But when weather's rough, it's difficult. You just feel it out and you just have to battle. It's more of a mental game than anything else.
Okay, the next question from the front here on the left-hand side.
Actually, it was about Padraig as well. He said that he reckons you're one of the best drivers in the field, and he says that the winds blow, that will play to your advantage, Jon. So that's just one observation. And the second one is, what can you take from Lahinch into this week? So, thank you.
Well, the good thing about Lahinch is that it was quite a tricky golf course. And it was similar on the shots into the green, right? You have to be very precise. There wasn't many pot bunkers around the greens for the most part, but there was a lot of runoffs. And anytime, the shots into the green were very, very similar. There was elevation changes, side winds for the most part and into the wind. So you really had to be precise. Unless you get unlucky in a pot bunker and get no stance, a lot of times the up and down is doable. If you go in some of those runoffs and you go away from the green and have a big hill in front of you and not much to work with, it's quite hard to get an up and down. So it was, I think Lahinch helped out in that sense. And in links golf, I mean, it's hard to win an Open Championship without putting the ball on the fairway. And there's very few that have been able to do it. Seve being the master at doing that, it's hard to do. So driving is definitely important. I like to think I'm a good driver of the golf ball, but when the conditions get difficult, it's really hard to do. So again, it's kind of what I said earlier: is just got to figure out a way to put it in the fairway, no matter how.
Okay, the next question is from the far right.
So Jon, last month the question what makes you play so well in California. This month the question is what makes you play so well in Ireland, no? And what connects you with your homeland and where you come from?
I really don't know. I just like it, Ever since the first time I played it here, in Portage Stewart 2 years ago, the Irish crowd is treating me very, very, very specially, right? I mean, I've had a great support, and it's the closest I'll ever feel to playing at home, without being at home, really. So that's, I think, what makes it so special. The first year I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the support, and I think, Spanish people have a lot of pride about the country of Spain. And being Basque people have a lot of pride of being Basque, and especially from my city. So really, I think Irish and Northern Irish people are really proud of their country and to be where they're from. So I feel like that's a similarity and have that similar feel. So when I'm walking around my hometown in Spain, for the most part of the year, we get similar weather. Summer is a little bit better. We're right on the coast, fishermen villages. It's just a very similar feel to what I had growing up. So, it's a lot of home feel to it without being at home.
Okay, next question, Jim, from microphone number 4.
John, do you feel at all that having won twice on Irish soil, that it gives you any sort of feel-good psychological advantage?
Definitely. A lot of positives to take from it, If I ever have doubts, which I shouldn't, I can always remind me that I've been able to win twice here. That's just the reason why that I can get it done. So it's a lot of positive in that sense, a lot of confidence in knowing that I'm more than capable to win to win an Open Championship and to win in a links golf course.
Okay, next question from Ewan.
John, have you managed to catch up with Thomas Pieters since he was cheekily poking fun at your outfit at Wimbledon?
No, I haven't seen him this week.
Have you not seen it?
No.
He had some fun on Twitter about
Well,
it.
I saw the tweet. I haven't seen him, no. And I'm not necessarily go look for him after something like that.
It's quite a unique ensemble. You usually quite a lively dresser in that respect.
I mean, I like to stay up with modern fashions. I can always say that wasn't my first choice of shirt to wear. The tie was, the shirt wasn't. You just got to wear it with confidence. That's all I can say.
But was it kind of the only one that was there? The only one that was ironed and ready
Yeah,
to go?
for reasons I'm gonna, it just didn't come. The shirts I wanted to wear didn't come from the dry cleaners on time, but still, I mean, it's one of the shirts that I have that I've worn before. It's not meant to be worn with a suit. I'd rather not go to a Royal box with starred shirt, but it's what I had. I got compliments in the Royal box, so as far as I'm concerned, it was a good day.
Royal seal of approval.
Okay, the next question from microphone number 1, Alistair.
John, you won at Portrush a couple of years ago. Have you done anything to replicate that experience in terms of staying in the same place, eating in the same place, any of that kind of thing?
Well, we stayed, last time we stayed in Portrush, and actually in Kerr Street, but this year that's a little bit busier than it was 2 years ago. So I'm kind of switching it. We stayed in Portrush, playing in Port Stewart. This year we staying in Port Stewart, playing in Portrush. Not on purpose, really. I just didn't want to be. I knew that was going to be busy, so that's where we are. And when we were here 2 years ago, we went to the Harbor Bistro 6 out of 7 nights. I did go there Sunday, but it's just too busy of an area, I mean, I do know the owner, Matt, and I know we can get a table. It's just a little bit too busy for my liking in tournament week, so I don't think I'm gonna be going there. Maybe Sunday night, hopefully, before I have to go to Memphis, but I don't think I'll be going there again. Just a little too much going on.
Yeah. Also, looking at your record in the majors over the past couple of years, you either contend, you get in the top 10, or you miss the cut. Are you trying to find a middle ground anywhere, or can you explain that pattern at all?
I can't explain it really. No, I don't know. It's just I would like to find a middle ground, but truth be told, there's not much difference between finishing 50th, 40th, or 30th to me, right? Unless you are contending for the tournament, making the cut or not doesn't make a difference.
Okay, the next question from microphone number 3.
Hi, John. The Americans are obviously dominating the major wins at the moment in recent times, but do you feel you and your European peers have got the talent to change that around in the near future, perhaps even this week?
I mean, I'm not going to say no. That'll be putting doubts on myself and all my peers. But yeah, of course, I think the talent's there. It's just, I believe it goes in waves, right? I mean, there's going to be times that the Americans are going to win more, and there's going to be times the Europeans are going to win more. Got to say, 3 of the 4 majors I played in the U.S. So if we're talking in that way, they do have certain part of an advantage. There's also a lot more U.S. players than European in the high rankings. So, but still, in the 80s, the Europeans started a wave of European wins for a very long time. So hopefully we can replicate that a couple of years later. I mean, hopefully we can start it this week, and hopefully I'm the one to start it.
Okay, the next question is from the far left, microphone number 1.
John, I know it's a very small sample size, but do you have any explanation for why you haven't played as well in this championship, but you do have great success on other links golf courses?
Well, I really couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the question?
Sorry, I know it's a small sample size, but can you offer any explanation of why you haven't necessarily played your best in this championship, but you do have success on a lot of other links golf courses?
I can't tell you, honestly. I think for the most part, the last few Opens, I just technically wasn't feeling great with my swing. It's as simple as that. It just happened to be weeks where I wasn't playing good. And when it comes to the Irish Open, I mean, that first year winning, I remember sitting on the press conference, I had never played good in links golf. And sure enough, I win that week. So I think that just gave me a confidence boost when it comes to that event, and that's why I've been able to do it the last few years. But weather also, being honest, hasn't been the same, right? The 3 Irish Opens I've played, the wind, the weather's been kind of mild. This past Irish Open, the first 2 days we did have some kind of wind and some kind of rain, but towards the weekend it was pretty soft. I mean, that final round, the last 4 holes, there was no wind whatsoever. And the weather in the Opens has been a little bit more severe than those, so I think that has something to do with it too.
Okay, next question from microphone number 2.
John, would you mind answering a question in Spanish?
If
Is that okay?
though there is Spanish media here on the front, and they're waiting for later, so
Or can we join in then?
yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
We can answer in English if you want right now. It's not.
Next question from number 4.
You mentioned Seve's record in the Open. How much of footage of Seve have you seen playing in the Open, and what sort of inspiration will he possibly give you this week?
I think I've seen as much as you can find in YouTube, really. And inspiration, I mean, there's a lot to look up to. None of the gameplay that I would like to emulate, really. I don't think I have the talent to do what he did, to play the way he did. Although, honestly, like I said, I don't care how it looks, if it looks pretty or not, as long as I win the event. So, however you can get it done. But obviously, it's an event that's really important as a European and as a Spaniard. And it would be really incredible to be able to do something that, you know, great players after him haven't been able to do at the Open. I mean, Olazabal came close quite a few times. Sergio's come close quite a few times. It would be an honor to be able to be the next Spanish player to be able to win an Open. I very much love to.
Okay, is there any further questions? There's one at the back.
So you referenced the weather in some of the previous tournaments. What, in practice, difference will the rain and wind make, do you think, in the next few days? What adjustments do you have to make?
Again, it's all plans kind of just won't work. You just got to figure it out, honestly. You just have to battle it. It's very difficult because when it starts raining, you start getting water in the club face and balls start being a little bit unpredictable. It's a tough grind. That's what it becomes. That's all it is. You can't, I don't think there's a science to perfect it because I think somebody would have found it by now. Patrick, like we said, is about as good as it's going to get about somebody to play in difficult weather. And it's just, you know, a lot of it, honestly, is short game. Yeah, it's hard to hit all the fairways. It's hard to hit all the greens. You're just gonna have to grind out pars and make the best of the few birdie putts you're gonna have. That's kind of how it comes. But at the same time, that's only if you're playing 18 holes, raining and wind non-stop. Usually you get breaks, right? I mean, it comes for an hour, it leaves for 30 minutes, it comes for a little bit. So, you know, if you can just somehow keep the momentum going and battle out those tough times, you might be able to keep around going. If you completely derail, which it can happen really easily, you lose your swing and you lose your touch, it's hard to get it back.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, we'll wrap things up. John, very best of luck this week and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.